Can the Jets get any more dysfunctional? Any more dysfunctional? I mean, any more? Can they do anything else to make every Jet fan say, what the fuck? I mean, not even what the fuck, just, yeah, I guess it is what the fuck. I mean, you bench Wilson. You put in Boyle. Boyle should never, ever, ever see the field. Yesterday, he wasn't even, good afternoon there, Josh. Yesterday, not even looking for Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson was open. They finally yanked him when he threw a pass up to Wilson that was, you know, I mean, it looked like it was just lobbed up there. Then he put his hands inside the warmer inside of his jersey, put his head down and realized, you know, that's it, I guess. They put in Trevor Siemian, who gets sacked 3 times, was on pace to get sacked 12 times. The Jets lose 13-8. They get their 3rd safety of the season. No other team has more than 1. 3. And my buddy Lenker sent me a stat that they have, their ineptitude in the opening quarter is atrocious. Atrocious. Rob just sent me something about the Philly fans pelting the Niner fans with snowballs. Why do I expect any less? What's his name? Dom? Lil Tom? Yeah. Was it Lil Dom, whatever the guy's name? Oh, I'm sorry. Big Dom. Big Dom. He's been the head of security for, hey, Sharon Matola. Hello there, Rob. He's been head of security 25 years, and there was a late hit on what? Hurts? Was it on Hurts? I think it was on Hurts. And Drew Greenlaw, and Big Dom decided that he was going to get in a player's face when he isn't even supposed to be near the action. And Big Dom goes off to cheers afterwards, and Drew Greenlaw gets thrown out of the game. They get blown out 42-19. They go to Dallas next week where they're the underdog, 3-point underdog. And if they lose, they go from the number 1 seed to the 5th seed in the NFC. I don't know if it really matters. Well, I guess it does if you want home field advantage. I mean, they got their asses kicked. They signed Shaq Leonard today. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You know, I'll be honest. I thought the football was better Saturday than Sunday. Casey showed me last night that they don't have any wide receivers. I mean, you have Travis Kelce. You have Rashee Rice, I guess. Oh, the video of the Philly game was actually an old one. So there you go. Rob sends me stuff. I talk about it like it just happened. And what does Rob do? He runs me over the bus. Then he backs up and he runs over me the other way. Then he goes the other way and back and forth. And I'm screaming because I'm in so much pain. But Rob says, you know what? I'm going to slow it up. I'm going to go a little slower over your body on the way back. And the way forward, I'm going to go a little bit slower so I can hear all the bones crunching. I'm just busting on you. Listen, it could have been yesterday, to be honest with you, but I didn't see any snow yesterday anyway. So that looked like a lot of snow that they were throwing, unless they were packing. I don't think it snowed yet anyway, but I digress on the Jets. Now, Rob was talking to me about how, you know, they sat Eli at the beginning. So I said, you know, I got to look up, and they went to playoffs the next year. And, you know, if anybody knows about that stuff, it's Rob, Rain Man, my Wikipedia man. He went 1-6 his first year, threw for 1,043 yards, 6 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Starts 2005, he goes 11-5, 37-62, 24 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, and they lost the wild card game to Carolina, 23-0. But I said to him, you know, how they start these guys, and yes, that Douglas was enamored with Zach Wilson during his pro day in BYU. You know, I mean, he had all his mother's friends there cheering him on, and that's why he had such a good day, Zach Wilson. Yeah, you know, and got enamored with that. Oh, they brought in Plaxico after his first year. And then that was before he decided that guns and nightclubs that can go off and shoot my foot are not a good thing, right? That was before that. That's what I thought. I mean, that was before that all happened. But, yeah, Zach Wilson enamored with him and should have sat, but they didn't sit Darnold. They didn't sit Sanchez. I'm going to go on and on. I'm trying to think of all the quarterbacks. I mean, Bumbles was saying to me, why don't they bring back the scholar? What, the Oxford scholar? What's it? Rhodes Scholar? Who was the quarterback? Chad. Oh man, I'm blanking. Chad from the they're getting the tools to succeed. They do that. Chad Pennington. He said maybe they should bring back Chad Pennington. And I'll tell you, Flacco yesterday threw a touchdown pass. I know he lost the game, but what did he throw for, like 254? And Elijah Moore had 12 targets at 83 yards. First game he had it with the Browns. He didn't look bad. I watched him play a little bit yesterday. He did not look terrible. Tim Boyle, terrible. Trevor Siemian, you're throwing him out to the wolves. So now they come and hey, Zach, we want you to start again. And he's a little reluctant because he feels he's the scapegoat. Well, you're being paid to play football. And someone's in his ear. It could be. I bet Aaron Rodgers might be saying something to him. I wouldn't be surprised. Going, dude, they said we don't want you anymore. But if you're a true professional and you realize, look at Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was benched during the championship game at halftime. They come back to win, stays with the team, eventually transfers to Oklahoma. Could have just been like, why is me? And turns himself into a all-pro quarterback. Some guys can take it. Some guys don't. Guys get benched all the time. And, you have to decide, am I going to sit here and pout? Or do you decide, hey, Zach, maybe it's better to go to the Arena Football League, look into the CFL, wider field. Or, another team will pick you up. And I don't know why they would play you because I can't see you going anywhere else and improving it all. I don't think you were that quarterback to begin with, and you're definitely not that quarterback now. But you're being paid to play, right? You're being paid to play. And if they say you got to play, I think you have to play. Yeah. Yes. Jets have more safeties in the first quarter than TDs this year. So during the 5-game losing streak, 2 offensive touchdowns, 13 turnovers. And I had all this stuff I was going to talk. Do I even bother talking about it? Do we even bother going there? Yeah, Cowboys. You got Jacksonville, first Monday Night Football game since 2011. All other teams have at least 7 Monday night appearances over that span, and Jacksonville is the first one since December 5th, 2011. Trevor Lawrence, 626 combined passing yards last 2 weeks. Calvin Ridley, 12 for 92, 3 touchdowns over the last 2 weeks. Bengals, Jake Browning is not good. Yeah, we'll see what's going to happen. He's got Jamar Chase. Jacksonville secondary 5th worst against the pass, 255 yards allowed per game. And the Jets this season, 7 touchdown passes, 3 safeties. Simeon 3 times, and play like a Jet said it could have been 12. I said, well, who do you want to play this week? And he said, why don't you put in Randall Cobb and he'll play out of the Wildcat. Can't do any worse, right? 20 points in the first quarter of this season. They've allowed 73. And you're starting off in a good place when being blown out in the first quarter every game. 5th straight loss. 8th straight game with less than 2 offensive touchdowns. Longest streak since the 2011 Rams. Musical quarterbacks. Bad blocking. Too many penalties. What they have penalty-wise, the Jets had 11 for 71. And Boyle and Trevor Siemian combined for 19 for 38 and $197. 0 touchdowns and interceptions. Sacked 4 times. Gibson had 5 catches for 77 yards. He had 1 nice catch. That was the best pass that Boyle threw. Was it a flea flicker, I think? And Garrett Wilson had 3 for 50. And Breece Hall, 13 rushes for 16 yards. You had other running back. Dalvin Cook had a fumble, which was kind of nice to watch. I'm so glad I got destroyed in fantasy this week. Destroyed. And I played Justin Tucker, and he was on a bye. So I don't know how I guess I should have got another kicker, but it wasn't even, I was losing by 50. And then yesterday at Pacheco, who had a touchdown, should have had a second one, I thought. And then at the end of the game, he's being held down, and he decides, you know what, let me get up, and let me throw a punch at the Green Bay player, defender, who's holding me down. Let me throw a punch and then run away like nothing happened. And then he gets his spot. I'm like, dude, you can't throw punches. Brian Burns threw a punch yesterday. A lot of punches thrown. Well, listen, they're trying to have fun, the Panthers, but you know what? When you're 1-11, you're not having a lot of fun. What you're having is a lot of, we're getting our asses kicked all the time. You have the Patriots, who didn't allow a team to have 10 points or less in 3 straight games, and they lost all 3 games. They lost 6-0 yesterday. 6-0 in the rain. Where tickets in the lower tier were going for as low as $15, I read yesterday. And is it Zappy? Is it Mac Jones? Malik Cunningham, they didn't even use him. They brought him in, the active roster, they didn't play him. Why not? What do you have to lose now? You're 2-10. Season is over. They've been mathematically eliminated. So are the Panthers. The Jets' chances at 4-8 right now are insignificant. And I really want Aaron Rodgers to shave off that mustache. Like Arthur Smith of the Titans, that mustache needs to go. It needs to go. It's terrible. It is a bad freaking mustache. You're not a good-looking guy to begin with. The mustache just makes me, I want to punch you in the face. That's what I want to do. And then Hal sends me something today where Quinn Ewers posted a tweet holding the champion Big 12 WWE Big 12 championship trophy, saying this is for Bevo's cousin, because they found the Longhorn dead at the campus of Oklahoma State. He put for Bevo's cousin, and I laughed out loud. I was like, and I love animals, but really, for Bevo's cousin? I couldn't even. I just was like, dude, who writes that? Who writes that? Really? I mean, now all of a sudden, I just laughed out loud because I was like, that's what you're writing for Bevo's cousin, and it's terrible that they killed the Longhorn, and they are mobile home people in Oklahoma. I've heard from people who. That's what I've heard. But my friend Rhonda is from Oklahoma, and she does not live in a mobile home, so I think that's a little disrespectful. But the animal should not have died. But that tweet to me just made me laugh. I was like, maybe I'm cold-hearted or something, but I thought that was the cheesiest thing I've ever seen tweeted. Well, I've seen a lot, but, we could go on and on about the Jets, and I think they were all going on about it. Yeah, Aaron in the car, mustache. Yes. Oh, Aaron in the car mustache, Josh, is the great. He looks phenomenal. Aaron Rodgers, punch in the face. Arthur Smith, punch in the face. Aaron in the car has game. And the mustache is, I don't think you should shave it. I think keep it. I think it grew on me. And I said, you know what, Aaron? Keep it. Keep it. So I thought that was pretty goddamn funny. Yes. Strong. Josh, you're on fire today. I know Rob's working, so we can't bother him, but it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, so the Jets, switch, it's not going to happen. I mean, they're just terrible. And now, so they go Houston at home, at Miami, Christmas Eve, Washington at home. I was invited to that game. December 28th, so they play a couple of days there at Cleveland, and they end the season at New England. And that should be ugly. That should be very ugly. Yes, very, very ugly. Giants will wear throwbacks next week. So good luck with that. We have some, I saw some of the NFC playoff picture. So right now KC's 4, Browns are 6, Texans 8. They beat the Broncos, and I saw that in play action. I want to make sure I got that for Russell Wilson in play action is pretty. What is this, college football? Where's my NFL stuff? Oh, this is the bowl. I have the bowl stuff, too. I will get to that, too. But Russell Wilson yesterday in play action was 6 for 9 for $122, 13.6 yards per attempt, a touchdown. When he wasn't, and a passer rating of almost 147. When he wasn't in play action, 9 for 7, 64 yards, 3.8 yards per attempt, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, a 22.3 passer rating. He was being pressured on the last play, and, just was a ball that was not a good pass. And, C.J. Stroud, came, 149 yards to start the game. I don't even think he hit 300. Tank Dell on a running play got his leg broken, and he's going to be out. He's out for the rest of the season, and that's not good for them because he's one of their best guys. But Nico Collins had almost 200 yards receiving yesterday, so that helps. And Texans got a big win yesterday. Tonight we have, Jags got a win tonight, stay ahead of the Chiefs. It was a bad loss for the Chiefs. But Jordan Love's been playing, last 2 weeks has been playing great. And my buddy Daniel said, come on, let's slow our roll. There's still a lot of football left to play. But he has looked a lot better. And they got the win yesterday. They're 6-6. I like that Simone Biles was there rooting on her husband, wearing her Green Bay Packers merch, jacket, whatever. And Owen's got a roughing penalty on Mahomes that Mahomes was still in bounds. And he hit him like a body shot, and they still called the penalty. I'm like, guys, you got to let these guys hit. And they're thinking that the hip tackle, Ramondre Stevenson, he could be in trouble. I saw that Kenny Pickett has a high ankle sprain that required surgery, kind of that lightning, that surgery, that same kind of thing that was done on Brock Bowers is done on him. They think he has 2 to 4 weeks. They had a rain delay. They got blown out 24-10 by Arizona. TJ Watt says he isn't getting holding calls against him, and one of them he got injured, but he said he'll be fine to play Thursday night against the Patriots. but he feels he doesn't get the respect he deserves, which I mean, I watch, okay. There was at the end of the game, the Green Bay KC game, what's his name? Marquez, Marquez Vandez, MVS, is that what they call Scantling? That dude was on his back. On his back. He was there before the ball got, and they didn't call. I'm like, and the ref is right there. And then I know they don't call, but Travis Kelce on the Hail Mary got pushed with both hands from behind. I'm like, guys, you got to call this. I mean, they should have called the pass interference. That was bullshit. So they lost the game, which I thought they still were going to come out to win, but that was egregious. And I feel like the refs are not good. And they said that should be reviewable. Every play should be reviewable, especially one that egregious. If they're reviewing everything, if they're watching the same things we're watching, someone should be calling there should be like the bat phone that goes right to the goddamn, whoever's watching officiating from the headquarters, wherever the hell you want to call it. And like, for the what's the sanctity of the game, for the shield, whatever you want to call it, for the integrity of the game, that they're like, that was a really bad call. They all missed it. Everybody at home saw it. Everybody's furious. It's all over Twitter. It's blowing up within seconds. We can make the change. We can, even if it's 15 seconds later, they have to have a pulse on everything, that they know this is a bad play and they don't call it. And people get, that's what people get furious about. And that play was, that was a penalty. That was a big penalty, man. That was definitely a penalty. Yeah. So, but of course they don't call it. They don't call that stuff. No, they don't call that. Yeah, the Packers are in the playoff spot right now. Rams are 8. They beat the Browns, and then I guess they got a late touchdown. And what did he say? He said Williams, the running back Kyron Williams. He said that he said he's on my fantasy team. The Rams coach said that. I thought that was pretty funny. He goes, he's on my fantasy team. Yeah, he's on my fantasy team. I thought that was pretty funny. Saints not playing well, and the fans are, but they came back. I mean, the Lions were up 21-0, and they, got to put those games away. The only thing, Laporta had a great game. What did he have, over 150 yards receiving yesterday? So he had a good game, but they're 9-3. They should have won, so that was a good win for them. I mean, we're going to see what happens going forward. And, Tank Dell, I don't know what that was. Devon Achane had 73 yards, over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill had 5 for $157, 2 touchdowns. The first one, I think, went 78. Then he went over 60. Listen to Tyreek Hill's numbers this year. Listen to the numbers this year. He has 93 catches for 1,481. He's on pace for 2,000 yards. 12 touchdowns, almost 16 yards per catch. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, and, he is having a season. Yeah, and Tua was upset how he played against the Jets, which everybody would be. If you didn't have a good game against the Jets, and they blew out Washington 45-15, and a terrible pick 6 from Sam Howell. I don't know how he didn't see the guy. I'm like, how do you not see that guy on there? I don't know how he missed that, but hey, he threw it right to the Dolphin defender. That was bad. And as I said about the Pats, first team since 1938 Chicago Cardinals to allow 10 or fewer points and lose 3 straight games. They lost in Frankfurt 10-6 to the Colts. Lost the Giants 10-7. They should have a field goal at the end, and they lost yesterday 6-0. Talk about everything falling apart. Yeah, Trubisky's going to start against the Pats Thursday Night Football. Happy birthday, Jeff Blake. Now, Jeff Blake. I remember the 1992 Peach Bowl. The last one played at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. It was played on January 1st, 1992. He was quarterback of East Carolina. Today he turned 53. You're younger than me. I remember this game like it was yesterday. So I remember watching the game. I think it was on CBS. They were down to North Carolina State 34-17 with under 9 minutes left. They scored 20 points, 20 straight points to win the game 37-34, and North Carolina State tried a field goal at the gun that they missed. And I remember, so he ended up throwing 51 passes, 31-51, 378, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. In the fourth quarter alone, he was 17-26, and on the final 3 scoring drives, he was 15-21 for $148. And I remember that game like it was yesterday. And I saw that. I was like, that's the game I remember. I was like, I got to talk about him because Jeff Blake, you rock. Yeah, Jeff Blake, you're the best. So I'd love to get him on a show. I just want to talk about that game. That's all I want to talk about. I want to talk about that college game. He had a good pro career, but that game I want to talk about because that game just brought back a lot of good memories. Yeah, Panthers interim coach Chris Tabor. Everybody's frustrated, want the team to have fun. Dude, when you're down, when you're 1-11, there's no more fun. The fun's gone. Yeah, and Frank Ragnow, the center for the Lions, they think he avoided a serious knee injury, which is good. I mean, that's a good thing. Yeah. And Terry McLaurin had 0 catches, 3 targets. He said, I ran a lot of cardio today. That's what he said in the 45-15 loss. Niners 23-point win, largest against a team with outright best record since the 1970 merger. And the Jets beat Tennessee one year. And I'm forgetting the year, but I saw that was the second most. I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty good. So that's the biggest win, largest win over a team with the outright best record since the 1970 merger. Matt LaFleur is 16-0 with the Packers in December. Yes, that's awesome, right? I mean, I would say that's pretty good. The most yards per attempt through 12 games, NFL history. This year, Brock Purdy, 9.59. Listen to this list. 2011, Rodgers at 9.42, won the MVP. 2004, Peyton Manning at 9.41, MVP. 1988, Boomer Esiason, 9.37 yards per attempt, MVP. And 84, Marino, 9.31 yards per attempt, MVP. They're saying he's going to get MVP votes now. Listen, he's playing well. And love to Christian Watson. How about the first 6 games? 14 of 33 for 236 yards, 2 touchdowns. Last 3, 14 of 20 for $186, 4 touchdowns. And Watson hurt his hammy, but he came back in. I think he came back, yeah. And Green Bay had scored 14-plus points in the first half of each of the last 2 games, 0 in the first 10 games. I mean, hey, you know what? And the number 1 seed right now, Michigan thought that was a dumb stat, but Eagles still have a 54% chance of getting the number 1 seed. Niners 36%, Cowboys 6%, and the Lions 4%. And Jalen Hurts cleared concussion protocol, so that's good going forward. And I have a stat up there from Caitlin Clark has scored more points for the Iowa basketball team in 8 games than the Iowa football team scored in 13. Which, and Iowa's playing Tennessee in a bowl game in, I think it's the Citrus Bowl on January 1st. And I'm going to get to that in a second. So Niners yesterday, CMC had 133 total yards, total offense, with a rushing touchdown. Brock Purdy threw for 314 and 4 touchdowns. And Deebo Samuel had 22 yards rushing, 116 receiving, had a rushing touchdown and 2 receiving touchdowns. He was locked in, locked and loaded in, man, let's play some football. Cowboys Seahawks Thursday night football, most streamed game in NFL history. 15.26 million, peaked at over 17, almost 18 million. Cowboys won 41-35. Previous high was week 2. Eagles beat the Vikings. They had over 15 million. 34-28 Eagles won. How about that? 15 million. I'm telling you, football just keeps, and did you see the guy for the Chiefs yesterday? The safety? Was the safety? He went for the tackle and you saw how his ankle turned the wrong way. You're like, oh, that was not pretty. That was ugly. That was bad. And then Bailey Zappi versus Mitch Trubisky Thursday night. Thrilling. Josh, you're on fire today. That's gold, Jerry. Gold, Jerry. Gold, I tell you. Gold, Jerry. That's gold. Oh, yeah, wow. Yeah, I just thought about that. That's going to be terrible. Yeah, yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. That's what you made me laugh so hard with that. Yeah, the streaming is crazy. Football. Oh, and then there was Kamara was going out of bounds, and there was a guy with the marker, the first down, the pole, and he got hit, and you saw his knee go the wrong way. And then Kamara kind of looked for a second, and they said he doesn't need surgery, but he definitely broke his kneecap. I was like, damn. But the guy, when the foot goes the wrong way, they said, we're not going to show it again. But there's a picture of him, and you can see the ankle turning the wrong way for the KC. It's not pretty. It's not good at all. Shaq Leonard is now an Eagle. signed a 1-year contract. They said they need help at linebacker. We'll see how that goes. Oh, and Caleb Williams. You see, I'm not shocked. He knows he's going pro, but he's not going to play in the Holiday Bowl against Louisville. That's going to be per on 3. I'm not shocked about that. Ohio State lost Julian Fleming, 5-star, number 3 in the 2020 class wide receiver, 26 catches, 270. And Kyle McCord, their starting quarterback, is going into the transfer portal too. I mean, and there's a lot of guys. Dylan Gabriel, who went from UCF to Oklahoma, he's in the transfer portal. There's a lot of guys going to the transfer portal, man. I mean, there is a lot. And running back Evan Pryor, who was a 4 or 5-star recruit, they had 7 guys in the portal for the Ohio State. They are playing against Missouri in the Cotton Bowl, and Missouri already sold out their tickets, which I'm not shocked about. I mean, hey, come on. They want to see Drake Nugent, finalist for the Remington Trophy, the most outstanding center in college football. I think they are in a shitload of trouble. If you saw Michigan after they announced who they were playing, you give Saban a month to prepare for that game. I do not like Michigan's chances. And Michigan's not going to be happy for me to say that, but I do not like their chances. Now, Texas is another story. I think Texas is a good team. But I think Texas-Washington is a pretty evenly matched game. And it's all going to come down to quarterbacks. It really is. It's going to come back. And J.J. McCarthy hasn't done shit. I was talking to Milton yesterday. I'm sending my love to Milton. Milton's a good dude. Very good man. Very good man. He's a good dude. And I haven't talked to him yet about it, but I am not sold on Michigan. And I think J.J. McCarthy is going to have to make plays in the playoff game, and he really hasn't. I know they've run the ball, but I really feel like his accuracy has been off. And Roman Wilson didn't. I think he had 1 catch in the game. They did not have a lot of offense. I know the defense, everybody 26-0. No, they played great. No, I thought they was offensively they were inconsistent. And yes, they beat Ohio State. That he looked better in that game, but he had a phenomenal game last year, McCarthy, against Ohio State, and he played well against TCU too. Though he did have interceptions, he had a couple bad plays, but he needs to step up. I mean, I can't believe he's going to go pro. They're saying now that Ewers is going to come back. I think Caleb Williams and Drake May are staying, but there's a lot of guys they said and Sanders is going to come back. I think J.J. McCarthy. I can't believe that they're saying, he's ready for the NFL. No, not even close. And Jay sent me a picture. He said him and Zach Wilson look like they could be brothers, which I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, kind of interesting. And Cole Kubelik, number 1 seed in college football playoff all time. Bama 5, Clemson 2, Michigan, Georgia, LSU 1. But Caleb Williams, I mean, there's going to be a lot more guys that aren't going to play. I mean, especially, get hurt, preparing for the draft. I mean, you could get hurt, doing the, getting ready for the draft, but you don't want to get hurt in your last college football game. I remember the guy with the Cowboys from Notre Dame, whose name escapes me, and he was a first-round pick of the Cowboys. Well, I think it was second round, but he blew out his knee in the Fiesta Bowl against Ohio State, and he actually was a Giant too. Now that's going to bother me. Notre Dame, ND, linebacker. Oh, they're doing tour with me. Yeah, drafted by, yes, that would be Jalen Smith. Second round, he was supposed to be a top 5 pick, lost millions of dollars, ended up signing a better deal, but really became a journeyman. He was a good player, wasn't a great player, but I didn't think he'd even come back from that injury, and he did, and he played in the NFL, but he never was as good as he's still in the league. Is he still playing right now? Oh, let me see. Is he still playing? Is he playing this year? So I'm looking right now to see. He is on. Oh, he played for the Giants last year. He did not play this year. Huh. Yeah. So he is not playing. He did not play this year. So he might be done. Didn't have a, I mean, think about it. Okay, so he played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-year career. Signed one big contract. He had a sack last year. 11 sacks in his career. Yeah, didn't not what he should have had, but he had a career, but not, and that's who you don't want guys to. Yeah, and then there was the one I think about most who and I talked about in the past was the Michigan linebacker who got hurt. I talked about this with Michigan. He was the guy who, Jake Butt. Remember Jake Butt in that Orange Bowl? Blew out his knee. He never had, and then got injured as a pro. Never had the career. Now he's calling football games, but never was the same. Never that guy again. I mean, that sucks. That really sucks. Yeah. So Dylan Gabriel, Nevada new head coach, Texas co-defensive coordinator Jeff Choate. They said he's a good pickup. I don't really know a lot about him, but I saw that. Yeah, Dylan Gabriel started at UCF this past year, 36-60, 30 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Now, they said Jeff Lebby, who he was with at UCF, is now the new head coach of Mississippi State. But also, Bo Nix won't. I don't think Bo Nix is going to play in the bowl game when they play Liberty. I just don't think he's going to play. I mean, he might. I just don't. I think he's going to get ready for the draft. I think that's what Oregon, Washington, USC all needs quarterbacks. So Jackson Arnold, a 5-star recruit for Oklahoma, 6 games this year, 202 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. You get 15 bowl practices and, go into next year. So that probably will happen on that front. We'll see what happens going forward. And, I wrote down some of the bowl games. Yeah, you got Tennessee versus Iowa. And you got, did my man say something? No, he's still talking about Bailey Zappi. Okay, so Tennessee versus Iowa, January 1st in the Florida Citrus Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Liberty, which, listen, SMU's not happy either. SMU had a phenomenal season. You had Liberty, which were undefeated, but was the strength of schedule was 133 to 133. And SMU should be playing this game. But Liberty, hey, I don't agree with this pickup. They're going to play Oregon, I think. We're going to see who's going to play quarterback for Oregon. But they're 13-0. Music City Bowl, December 30th. Auburn, Maryland. I think I saw Auburn is the favorite. I said, all right, we should go down to Nashville for the game. Orange Bowl, you got Georgia versus Florida State. That's Saturday, December 30th. Sun Bowl, Oregon State. Well, and their quarterback, DJ, he's going in the transfer portal versus Notre Dame. I don't think, and I was going to ask Treetop if Sam Hartman's going to play in that game. That's Friday, December 29th, 2 p.m. Liberty Bowl, Memphis versus Iowa. Hey. And Rob's switching all over the place. Now Rob is in YouTube. That's crazy. All right. Go crazy there, my man. Liberty Bowl, you got Memphis versus Iowa State, December 29th. Alamo Bowl, Arizona versus Oklahoma. Again, Dylan Gabriel hasn't decided, and he's going to check his pro options, but I think he'll come back and go somewhere and try to blow it up next year. They play Thursday, December 28th. Also, you have the Gator Bowl, Friday, December 29th at noon, Kentucky versus number 22 Clemson. And UNC is playing West Virginia, the Duke Mayo Bowl, Wednesday, December 27th. I don't think Drake May is going to play in that game. Pinstripe Bowl, Miami versus Rutgers. And somebody put that as the Carmine Jr. Bowl, because it wasn't Carmine Jr. in Sopranos. He was between Jersey and Florida. So they're playing the U December 28th. And Pop-Tarts Bowl, which I'm very excited about. NC State, number 18 versus number 25 K-State. And Dave Doran wanted to know what the flavor was. And could he have? They wouldn't tell him. The spokesman wouldn't tell him. Also, could he have like a chaser? He likes that maybe with a nice bourbon with whatever the Pop-Tart was. I thought that was pretty funny. That's December 28th. And Holiday Bowl now. No Caleb Williams versus Louisville. So you're going to see a lot of shitty bowls. You're going to see a lot of shitty bowls, man. Because I think a lot of guys are going to transfer. They're going to go. We're going to see what happens. And yeah. And I also women's top 25. How about? This is crazy, but UConn is now 17th in the country. 17th. I mean, that's nuts, right? I mean, they haven't been that. And I saw it. They talked. I found I read an article today in The Athletic about it, that they haven't been that low in the rankings since. I mean, it's been a while. Yeah. So it's the Little Carmine Bowl. I was right. Yes, I talked about some of the bowl games, Pop-Tarts. Yay. Where's UConn? Okay, there's UConn. So UConn lost Texas on Sunday, 80-68. 3 losses faster than ever. Program history. Previous mark was December 13, 1986. So you're talking, that was Geno Auriemma's second season with the program. All 3 losses against AP top 10. And Texas's win also marked the first time the Longhorns ever beaten the Huskies, going 0 for 10 in the previous 10 meetings. And then now 17th in the country. They dropped, what did they drop? They dropped 6 spots. Taylor Jennings was in foul trouble. Point guard Rory Harmon anchored the Longhorns. She had 27 points, 13 rebounds, game highs. And, yeah, not good. Not good. You got Ozzie Fudge. She's out for the season. You have Jana L. Alfie, ruptured Achilles. She's also out for the season. Caroline Ducharme has missed multiple games this season with a lingering neck issue. And you have Paige Beckers, who she only took 11 shots against a tough defense. Even when she was National Player of the Year, she only took up 14 shots a game. So she's not like a Caitlin Clark who's going to shoot. She's not like a volume shooter like her. Yeah, she's 21 attempts per game this season. They'll need to take on even a bigger offensive load. And they still have games. December 10th, they face North Carolina, which lost to South Carolina, which, played them tough. And on January 27th, number 18, Notre Dame visits UConn. And on February 11th, they go to South Carolina to face number 1 South Carolina. And they also have to face number 23 Marquette twice. So it's going to be interesting how it goes from here forward. But yeah, so I saw that. I was like, oof, it's been a little rough. And UNC's playing tomorrow, but we looked up tickets like $200. And it's a 9:00 start. So I'm trying to see some of my connections will come through. And so South Carolina's 1, UCLA 2, NC State is 3, Iowa 4, Texas moved up 5 spots to 5. And then it's USC, LSU, Colorado, and Stanford round out the top 10. UNC fell to 24th in the country. Yeah, Iowa's at Purdue. Purdue dropped to 5th because they lost to Northwestern. 4th after being number 1 last week. So they play tonight against Iowa at home. And South Carolina beat Duke yesterday. Duke men lost to Georgia Tech over the weekend, Georgia Tech's coach is, and I see his face. Georgia Tech is a former, I see his face. He's a former Georgia Tech. I see his face. Georgia Tech. He's a former point guard. He played with the Raptors. Yes, Damon Stoudemire is the head coach. Hired in March 2023. Replaced Josh Pastner. So they got the win. They beat Duke. I mean, then, he's also worried about NIL money and getting kids. And Overtime Elite is all, there's a lot of good players in the Atlanta area. So he's trying to get the local kids to stay home. I mean, good luck with that. We'll see what happens going forward. But yes. And the thing so Caitlin Clark, 237 points in 8 games. Iowa football team, 216 and 13. Thank you, Michigan. That was awesome. Also, CBS Sports, and we need to talk. UNC men, how about this? They went from 17 to 9. So you got Arizona first, number 1. Big S has to be excited since 2014. Kansas 2, Houston 3, Purdue 4, UConn 5, who they play tomorrow night. Baylor 6, and MSG. The game's tomorrow night at MSG. Gonzaga 7. Gonzaga went up 4 spots. Marquette dropped 5 to 8. UNC 9, and Creighton up 5 to 10. Florida Atlantic up 2 to 11. Texas men and women are both in the top 25. So's UNC. They went up 4 to 12. Colorado State. How about the Colorado State? The Rams. Then BYU, Zach Wilson's alma mater. Miami is down 7 from 8 to 15. Kentucky's down 4. They should be out. Tennessee's down 7. They're 17 from 10. James Madison, how about that? From 22 to 18. OU, Illinois, Texas A&M went down 7 after, I guess, a bad week. Duke went down 15 from 7 to 22. They're 5-3. I like seeing Duke. And Wisconsin, Clemson, and San Diego State round out the top 25. But I love seeing Duke when Duke sucks, it makes me so happy. It just makes my whole day. How about the Rangers? 3 in a row, 9-0-1 in one-score games. That leads the NHL. Panarin had a hat trick, 4 points, 19th 4-point game. It was his 3rd win in a row. It was his 5th career hat trick, 3rd with New York Rangers. Yeah, let's go Rangers, yeah. And 2nd versus the Sharks as a Ranger. They are 18-4-1. San Jose fell to 8-17-2. How about that? 18-4-1. They're tied with the Bruins with 37 points. the most in the NHL. 37 points. And they got their 3,000th franchise win. Michigan gave me that one. I didn't know that. I was like, all right. Yeah. I was like, all right, kick ass and take names. Do you see Kelnick got traded? Jared Kelnick? What do you get? Like his average sucked. He didn't do anything. And now they're saying he's going to go to the Braves. He's going to have a triple crown. I'm like, come on, guys. Guys, he's not that good. I mean, he's okay and everything, but I looked up his stats and I was like, he's 24. He's not even eligible. He's going to make like $750,000 this season. And also last year, their strikeout leaders, Mike Ford released 32% of his at-bats. He struck out. Kelnick, also almost 32% traded. And Teoscar Hernandez, 31%. He's a free agent. How would you say that? You would say Eugenio Suarez? You said the G. Yeah, Eugenio Suarez, 30.8. He was traded. The GM, Jerry DiPoto, is not kidding. And Kelnick last year, 253, 11 home runs, 49 RBIs, 416 plate appearances, 132 strikeouts. He's been set up and down. I remember he was supposed to be this guy. He's only 24. They said he's a left-handed hitter, will compete with Vaughn Grissom in left field, what could be a platoon. And Grissom could also play infield when needed. Alex Anthopoulos said the Braves are done with left field now, not looking to add there. Okay. So I guess we'll see what happens there. And they got a starter out of, what else did they pick up? They got Kelnick, giving up one of their top two pitching prospects, Cole Phillips, and right-hander Jackson Kowar, who they recently acquired from the Royals. The Braves gave up those two guys. And the Braves get left-handed pitcher Marco Gonzalez, who's going to make $12 million, and Evan White, who has $50 million remaining on his contract, plus a $2 million buyout. Gonzalez has a $12 million remaining, so it really was a money thing, and I guess we'll see what happens going forward. But, they're hurting with pitching, the Braves, where the Mariners have a plethora. And did you see, how about that? Lou Piniella fell one vote shy of being elected to the Hall of Fame. I love Lou. I love Sweet Lou. Loved him. But Jim Leyland got it, and Jim Leyland was a hell of a manager. Hell of a manager. Yeah, the Mets actually won the trade. They actually said, what did I see here with the Mets? So, yeah, Jerry Beach posted something. What did he say? The only Met, 5 years a day of the infamous Mets trade, Edwin Diaz is the last player from that trade, still with the team that acquired him. Imagine those odds in 2019, 2020. And they said, and Jerry Beach said, Kelnick going to the Braves, bank on the Triple Crown season income. So you think because they got Diaz? Yeah, of course they won. Yeah. I mean, let's see if Diaz can come back and be that guy this season. Oh, let's go Rangers. Big game versus the Kings coming up. Yeah, the Kings, LA Kings. That's a big game. Yesterday I was with Michigan's cousin Mark, who I call Messier. He plays in a adult hockey league. And he says, I don't give a shit about the regular season. He says, what I want to see is Kreider, Panarin, and Mika in the playoffs not disappear like they did. And he said, I don't care what they do regular season. Playoff hockey is totally different. They can win as many goddamn games. And as we saw last year, the Bruins, best regular season ever, and got knocked out in the first round. 7 games, lose every game at home, right? Didn't they lose every game? They lost the series, every game at home to the Panthers. So it doesn't mean shit right now. It's not a big game against the Kings. No, you got to get these guys in the playoffs. I don't give a shit if they win 90 games this year, which isn't going to happen. I need to see playoff hockey. I need to see these guys toughen up, put on the big boy pants, and kick some ass. I don't need whining. I don't want to be reluctant about coming back to the starting lineup like Zach Wilson because you guys said you don't need me anymore and we threw me aside and, I wasn't getting it done and all that stuff. You hurt my feelings and I'm very sensitive. I'm very sensitive person. You're a professional goddamn athlete. People would kill to have that job. So what? They benched you. You sucked. You weren't getting the job done. Well, now they need you and your teammates are there. And guys, there's still pride in playing the game. You play to win the fucking game. So Zach, get your big boy pants on, get back on the fucking field and show us what you got. Do something about it. Stop complaining. It is a big game. What do you mean it's not a big game? What? What do you mean a big game? It's a test? What is, Rob? They've been playing test all season. They played Boston. What big test? What have the Kings done the last couple of years? Can you tell me the Kings haven't done shit in years because they're having one good season? This is a big game? No, I don't agree. I don't think the Kings are a big test because the Kings you might meet them in the playoffs. A big test to what? It's a big upkeep. They're having a better season than the Kings. I disagree, dude. I disagree completely. I don't think I'm going crazy over the LA Kings are not in my rearview mirror, and I'm like, oh, I got to get ready for the Kings game. So what? They're playing well this year. Okay, great. They haven't done shit in years. When was the last time they won the Cup? 2014? What was that, a decade ago? You were like 22 then. Come on. Really? Like, I would say, okay, if you're playing Vegas, that's a team I'd want to see against, a team I'd want to judge myself against, because Vegas is the defending champs. A team like Colorado, which is always up there every year, consistent. Kings, not that, yeah. I don't agree to disagree. You're wrong. Kings aren't a team. Kings aren't a team that I'm looking at that I'm going to compare myself to and be like, oh, that's the team. I'm sorry. I love you, man, but I don't think anybody, any Ranger fan is like, ooh, the Kings game is a game I'm looking at as a big test for us. Look at what happened last night with San Jose. They're up 6-3, and they start playing lazy-ass defense at 6-5, and a guy had a shot at the end where, it went, shot it wide, but it looked like he had, at the end, they were snoozing, and he went through everybody and had a clear shot on goal. Too bad he missed it, but that's another thing. So, I mean, I feel like, they're playing against these shitty teams. They're up and down. And listen, they went to Nashville. That was on the road. Showed something coming back from a 3-1 deficit. Those are things that you look at. Hey, that's what you want to see, coming and playing. I mean, I think, and yeah, seeding for the playoffs, which is great and all. Great, you're the number 1 seed. But as you can see, 8 seeds go on and go to the Stanley Cup Finals. And it's all to see. The thing is, Lafreniere has come to play this year. He worked on the offseason. He was getting pushed around too much. They worked on him. They worked on getting him stronger and everything. And he has taken it to heart. He's having a phenomenal season. And that, to me, now I don't know all the young guys. Michigan is the real Ranger fan. But I will say that, and Kreider is playing like he played 2 years ago. I thought last year didn't play as well. Panarin's playing well. Mika, I mean, and Quick has played some goal this year, which they didn't have. I mean, it was all Shesterkin. And Quick has played pretty well. Not great, but he's played well in spots. I mean, that bodes well. I mean, you don't want to burn out Shesterkin for the playoffs. I mean, you want to give some time off. You want to play when he can play, but I think that's all good things. And they needed a voice. I wasn't that upset with Michigan when they got rid of Gallant. She thought it wasn't his fault; it was the team's fault. But I think Lavalette has brought a different energy to the team. Maybe it was going in one ear and went out the other with Gallant. So that's what I have to say on that front. Yeah, thanks, Rob. You got me a little worked up. Yeah, so thank you. And Dodgers hire former All-Star pitcher Chris Archer as a special assistant. All right. And I thought this was hilarious. So they asked Robert Downey Jr. if he resembles Tony Stark in real life. He goes, I ain't him. I'll tell you flat out, I'm just a fucking actor. Yeah, that's... So today they had on... The Spielberg documentary was on Max. I've never seen it. And I'll tell you, it was really good. Knicks playing in-season tournament versus the Bucks. That would be a great... Yes. I agree with you there, Rob. That would be a great win, because I feel the Knicks need to show me if they are on the upper echelon of the NBA, or are they a team that's going to go one round of the playoffs and be out? Yes. That's a test for me. The Knicks are a test, because the Knicks haven't done anything postseason-wise. And I need to see where they're at right now. That I agree with. And Rob, I love your opinion. So I like that you have it, and you've been on. And if you're on, I think we go back and forth. We'd have a little repartee, which would be nice. But yes, so that's tomorrow night. I forgot. I can't keep track of these in-season tournament games. But yes, I feel the Knicks, that's a big game for them. And I want to see, RJ Barrett. Grimes isn't even playing. Grimes is pissed off that he's been knocked out by DiVincenzo. But Thibodeau's that kind of guy, man. He'll move guys around. He has no problem switching guys up at all. I mean, he's like, yeah, this is the way things are. All right, this is the way we're rolling, man. I like that about him. He's tough. I mean, I talked to you. I talked to Rob about it. I talked to people. They love Tibbs. They think Tibbs is a good guy. So yeah, I don't disagree on that front. I could talk about more Jets stuff, but it's almost embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Simeon, musical quarterbacks, they've scored fewer than 2 touchdowns in 8 straight games, becoming the first team since the 2011 Rams and the first team since the 93 Bengals to register 10 or fewer touchdowns through the first 12 games. And TJ Mosley said, the truth is we have the quarterback position right now. The offense is struggling. The defense is trying to maintain. Special teams trying to do the same. It's no secret that it's just the cards were dealt this year, which is not good. Yeah, and Garrett Wilson, I mean, he wasn't even throwing. He wasn't even targeted. You know, he was wide open a couple times. That's what they said that's why he, you know, they asked him, they asked Salah why Wilson didn't get the ball in those situations when he was wide, and they said he was wide open. He said, pause a few seconds, and he said he's going to always watch the tape. Always watch the tape, yeah. He also defended and battled Nathaniel Hackett, saying, I guess you guys will have a better idea when you see the all-22 from this one. What is there to see about Hackett? Can someone tell me, what is there to see? What's the magic crystal there? We were talking about this, Rob, the offensive coordinator, Gilbride. People couldn't stand Gilbride when he was in the Giants. Everybody was like, get rid of Gilbride, get rid of Gilbride. And I still remember Buddy Ryan getting into this fight on the sidelines of the Oilers playoff game with Gilbride. He got into a fist fight with him. And Gilbride, I always thought, was not the guy as offensive coordinator. Hackett's even worse. Yeah. So they said the play calls were good, but the plays weren't executed. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Oh, Garrett Wilson said, I can do a better job communicating what I'm seeing out on the field. Yeah, he's been quiet. Yeah. And Boyle said he squandered opportunities in his 5th career start, all losses. I could have been more aggressive with a few throws I want back. Well, yeah, okay, whatever. Jay, please. Yeah, okay. He had his last catch, 13 minutes left in the third quarter, targeted 7 times, and then Tim Boyle threw that interception. 2 for 15 on third downs. 214 passing yards. Yeah, just terrible. Yeah. And his first target didn't even come until 9 minutes remained in the second quarter. Yeah, that's bullshit. Before Sunday, Wilson ranked 4th among all wide receivers or tight ends in ESPN's open score metric, which tracks how open receivers get on their routes. He's been as open as any NFL's best wide receivers this season, and yet ranks only 16th in receptions, which means that's a guy who's going to want to get out of town. He's going to be frustrated because this is a guy put up, almost 1,100 yards last season? Yeah. Oh, I talked about that, Rob. I did. So the Mavs scored 30 straight points and still lost to the Thunder. Yes, I did talk about that. 30 straight. They were down 111, 87. Then they were up 117, 111, and they won 126, 120. And Luka had a triple-double. Yes, I saw that. See, Rob, that's why I love it. I mean, and Rob's been sending me stuff. I love it. Yeah, and they think Simeon might have won the job with the throw to Gibson. I thought it was Boyle through that one. He didn't. The last time the Jets started 4 quarterbacks in a season, 89. Ken O'Brien, 4-8. Tony Eason, 0-2. Pat Ryan, 0-1. And Kyle Mackey, 0-1. I don't know. This is the 3rd straight year the Jets have used 4 quarterbacks under Salah. Where's Streveler when you need him? That's what I read, too. I think that was Zach Rosenblatt. The last time Trevor Simeon won a game he played, season finale 2021, he was playing with New Orleans, and he beat the Falcons. Yeah, Jesus. Crazy. Simeon has started 30 games in his career. Seems like at this point he'll start another. Well, they want to put back in Zach Wilson. So the Jets have scored 13 touchdowns in 12 games, 7 pass, 3 rush, 1 interception return, 1 fumble return, 1 punt return. Only 4 teams have scored 13 or fewer points in the first 12 games. The Jets this year, the 4-8. 2011 Rams started 2-10. The Raiders in 2009, 4-8. The 2008 Rams, 2-10, and the 2000 Browns, 3-9. And they had a season high 11 penalties for 76 yards. Jesus Christ. And the Jets have 10 offensive touchdowns, 12 games. Last team, 10 or fewer offensive touchdowns, 12 games. That was the 93 Bengals who went 3-13. We'll see what happens. Yeah, and Desmond Ridder is not that good. I mean, Bijan Robinson had 79 yards. Dalvin Cook, 9 for 35. Breece Hall, 13 rushes, 16 yards, 6 catches for 29. That's not football. Yeah. And Jeff Schwartz says this has always been about Rodgers having his name in the news all the time. I don't disagree. Don't disagree at all. But the one interesting thing he did, and it was on the news last night, and that's what I really wanted to talk about, was, Rob, don't ever apologize. Don't ever apologize for anything. You are a great man. You're working. But I love you know what I love about the people? I'm gonna stop for a second. You know what I love about doing this show is how many people I've connected to now And how many people send me stuff? I mean, Rob sent me a ton of stuff today. He sent me something about Saban today that I thought was awesome. He said, didn't you talk about Saban yesterday? Well, I saw this thing. Hey, take a look at it. Do you know how many people send me stuff now? Do you know how many people that have come into my life that have made my life that much better? I mean, Josh listens to almost every goddamn show. I just really started talking to Rob and listens all the time. Rob and I have a communication now. I mean, Bumble sends me stuff. Michigan sends me stuff. Lanker sends me stuff. My dad used to send me stuff. My dad would just call me and just be like, I talked to Messier yesterday, and he's talking hockey and all this stuff. He wants to get on with Ari, do a show, the two of them. I said, let's do it. Everybody. I love doing this stuff. Don't ever apologize. You guys are great. The passion. We have a connection about something. The world sucks. There's a lot of shit going on, but this is stuff we can talk about. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, you can talk about the Kings, the big game. I love it. That's good. Yeah, you know what, dude? You talk about the stuff. You talk about the 30 points the Mavs score, and he's apologizing. No way, man. It's all good. It's all good. It's like, this is my safe space. This is my place where I spend so much time looking up stuff. And I'm like, I got to do the show. Michigan's going to be home in like an hour, and I'm like, I got to do a show today. But I'm like, let's just keep going. So, yeah, okay. So, last night on the news, Salah and several team staffers, he runs the steps before every game. Well, the late Greg Knapp, they honored Greg Knapp, who got killed on a bicycle ride in California. He was hit by a car near his home in California. He was 58 years old. This was on July 22nd, 2021. Well, he used to run the steps inside MetLife before the team's games. Well, this was a long-time tradition of running the stairs in the stands a few hours before the games, and the Jets and Falcons coaches and staffers participated in the Knapp stair climb before team warm-up Sundays in support of the Coach Knapp Memorial Fund to raise funds for distracted driving awareness. As a part of the weekend's My Cause, My Cleats initiative around the NFL, several members of the Jets and Falcons are representing the Coach Knapp Memorial Fund, including New York General Manager Joe Douglas, Special Teams Coordinator Brent Boyer, and Atlanta assistant coaches Matt Schaub and TJ Yates. Several other NFL and NCAA teams have participated in the Knapp stair climb this season, including Green Bay, Cleveland, New Orleans, Dallas, San Francisco, Denver, Houston, and the Rams. I mean, he was hired as the Jets' pass game specialist when he died. He also was with the Falcons, Broncos, Raiders, Texans, Seahawks, and Niners after beginning his coaching career in Sacramento State in 86. And I just thought that was I saw that, I was like, I should leave with that. I thought that was great. I got to find it on Instagram. I'd love to get them on the show and talk about Greg Knapp. I mean, just seemed like a great guy. And he gets killed on a bike ride by a driver. I mean, it's scary. Michigan's brother got hit on his bike in Colorado one time. He's lucky. He said, the helmet saved my life. I'll tell you, I moved to California. I rode my bike everywhere in the city. Everywhere. And not in California, man. It was scary. And even in New York now, it's a little scarier. Got to wear a helmet, man. And they don't. People riding with their headphones in ear. They're not paying attention, all that shit. I thought that was pretty cool. I read that. I was like, I got to talk about that today. Yeah, so, Marquez, Valdez, Scantling, Carrington, Valentine was all over his back. Yeah, they've been egregious. Warren Sharp said refs were egregiously bad against both teams at the end but there is just a totally different rule book on Hail Marys the refs use in that play. He said, is there? Because otherwise, Kelsey was pushed with two hands. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and yes, John Ladard, Casey's lacking in wide receivers. Only second time this year, no TDs in the first half. 3 sacks of Mahomes in the red zone in the first half. Not good. And their 32 penalties, number 1 in the NFL. They got a couple more later, but yeah, that's... And then they were saying was, that interception. Sky Moore, everybody's saying Sky Moore is not the guy. But that's who he has to rely on. And he doesn't have better options. And they didn't bring in a vet guy. They lost Schuster Smith. And, sometimes that comes back and bites in the ass. And Pacheco now is the 5th most touchdowns in his first 2 seasons, 11. Jordan Love, 3 touchdowns. Only other player to do that, Russ Wilson, week 8 in the Denver's 24-9 win. Yeah, I mean, he's playing well. He is playing well. They were 2-5. Now they're 6-6, 4-1 their last 5. Playoff chances jumped to 66% from 45%. Yeah, and he's played well. I mean, and against the blitz, he 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions this season against the blitz, according to ESPN Stats and Info. Only Tua has more touchdowns 10 with an interception this year against the blitz. And last 2 years ago, he went against KC. He completed just 6 of 17 for a mere 30 yards against the pressure packages. He's improved his game. He really has. Yeah. Jordan Love, last 3 games, 3-0, 847 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, no interceptions. Yeah, Brian Cook, that ankle, that was not good. No, that was not good. He was a second-round pick out of Cincinnati, playing really well for them. Elevated in starter alongside Justin Reed. He was playing really well, and that is not good. Yeah, that was tough to watch. And Josh Jabot put that 49ers are 2-0 this year and have outscored the opposition by 27 points per game when they have availability early on Thursday. I guess Nick Wagner likes that. And Jalen Hurts had won 14 straight against teams with a winning record. That's over with. And 6 straight touchdowns drives for the Niners. Last time they did that was against KC. So listen to this. The Niners against the Eagles and Cowboys, 84-29. They've outscored them this year. 84-29. I mean, that's good. And Deebo Samuel was very excited. And if the season ended today, the 2023 Niners would have the highest success rate of any offense in the last 10 years. The Jets would have the worst. Yes. And it was the largest margin of victory on a team 10-1 or better since 2012 when the Pats beat the Texans by 28, 42-14. And Houston that year remember Houston always had that great regular season that went out. Well, yeah. I mean, it happens sometimes, right? Yeah, Brock Purdy says he has this sleep thing. Oh, and Aaron has joined us. All right, Aaron, how you doing? Seth Joyner went off on the Eagles' defensive backs. He said they are as disinterested in tackling someone as a young kid coming out to play football for the first time. They don't want to hit nobody. They don't want to tackle nobody. Tackling is an attitude. They don't want any part of it. They just want to push you out of bounds or trip you up. They want no part of it. He did mention that Reed Blankenship is the exception. All right there, Aaron. How you doing? Did you watch Elf on the Shelf I sent you, dude? Because you didn't respond. I mean, I sent stuff to you. I'd like a little, hey, I thought that was really funny. So I didn't know if you watched it. I mean, I know you're busy. There's a lot of grooming going on now for Aaron. I mean, he's got the mustache, the hair. He's a good-looking guy. He's at the gym. He's pumping up all the time. He's feeling good, looking good. He's a lean, mean fighting machine. You know what I mean? I get it. Sexy's back, baby. Sexy's back. I hear you. Yeah, Deebo Samuel, man, getting it done. Yeah, he's been also, they said, the knock on him had been his average depth of target, which measures how far downfield a player is typically targeted. If a player averages 15 air yards on his target, then his ADOT would be 15 yards. But they said he leads the league's receivers with 9.71 yards after catch per reception. Rashee Rice almost 1.5 yards behind. That's awesome. And then, yeah, the big Dom thing. I mean, that was just dumb. I don't get it. Yeah. I don't know. Did something happen? Did something happen and I'm missing something? I mean, when those guys on the chat like that, I'm always like, did I miss something? That's always I wanted to see. No. Toth didn't play well. No. The chat, that's it. Quarterback Tyler Buckner enters transfer portal for lacrosse. Okay. All right. Jets disputes report that quarterback is reluctant to play. He disputes it. I'm disputing it. Okay. Well, dispute it all you want. The NFL's reviewing the Big Dom situation, which that has to happen. Come on. Ashanti, pregnant. Isn't Ashanti with first baby with Nelly? Good for you, Ashanti. Yes, good for you. I'm very happy for you. Oh, I'm doing the show. Oh, Kelnick doesn't mention former team. Shades him afterwards. Okay, good for you. Congrats. Good luck. All right. So the Texans, they Tank Dell, broken leg. Nico Collins is not going to have to be the guy. 9 catches, 191 yards. Stroud threw for a 274 and a touchdown. Russell Wilson, too many interceptions. So Dell was having a hell of a season, man. He ranked second among rookies with 709 yards. Led all rookies with 7 receiving touchdowns. Derek Carr is the first Saints quarterback since Richard Todd in 1984 to start the first 12 games of the season and averaged less than 1 touchdown per game. Todd also had 11. And they're 18th in passer rating, 18th in yards at attempt, and 20th in EPA dropback, which measures the efficiency of a quarterback on a per dropback basis, expected points added. Not good. So the Ravens report back tomorrow, number 2 seed. They'll be number 3 if the Jags beat the Bengals, but that's good. And some guy said if they don't get the Super Bowl this year, I'm not sure if he ever does. They have no Mark Andrews. How are you going to say that? I just totally disagree. Flacco threw for 254, 2 touchdowns, interception. Stafford threw for 3 touchdown passes. And Kyron Williams had 112 total yards and a touchdown. And Puka Nacua, he got hurt landed on his shoulder. Sean Face thought he was dead. Then he came back to life joking. He said, but he wasn't breathing and his shoulder didn't feel like it was in the right place. But he said he's good. And he had 4 for $105 and a touchdown. Cooper Kupp had 6 for 39, a touchdown. But I guess we're going to see. Pittsburgh got blown out. James Conner came back to Pittsburgh, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a good. That must have felt good. And now Kenny Pickett. This is from Scott Kaxmar. Kenny Pickett has already been knocked out of 5 of his first 25 games with an injury. That's more games than Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, and Phillip Rivers combined. 5 of his first 25. And he's not the answer, man. Pittsburgh, I know they went a first-round pick, but that's what I get nervous about. All these guys coming out, a lot of them aren't that good. And yesterday, what's today's date? Today is today's the 4th. So yesterday, December 3rd, 1987, a disgruntled Steelers fan was arrested while kicking imaginary field goals to Three Rivers Stadium after he had driven a station wagon through the stadium gates and ramps until he crashed into vats of nacho cheese. I can't make this stuff up. Yeah, pass interference. Regardless of your NFL rooting interest, Jordan Schultz said, the refs have been pretty brutal the last few weeks. Pass interference is a real issue plaguing the league week in and week out. It's as hard a judgment call as there is to make. In my mind, if anything should be reviewable, it's pass. It should definitely be reviewable. Because, how do you know? You don't know. And how about Ball High's alma mater of Dom and Hal? How about Mike Evans, 7 for $162 and a touchdown, 10 years, 10 1,000-yard seasons. Only him and Jerry Rice, 10 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. Yeah, crazy. And Bryce Young threw for $178 and an interception. Yeah. And Brian Burns, he threw a punch at Tampa Bay offensive lineman Cody Mauch. He connected with he helmet using open hand. He was disqualified. And guys get upset, huh? What are you going to do? He has 6 sacks. He had 12.5 last season. They're 111. They're out of the playoffs. Sam Howell, bad pick 6 yesterday to Andrew Van Ginkel. I don't know what he was doing with that pass. But his sack percentage, 10.2 sack percentage, they said. That's a lot of, I guess it's on his throwbacks. He's not good. And, Terry McLaurin, 0 catches on 3 targets. 3rd time in his career that happened. He didn't have any catches yesterday. That's not good. And, Billy's happy. 6-0. Not good. Yeah, that was small crowd. 1 touchdown in the last 3 games. 2-10. Eliminated from the playoffs. 4 times. Never reached the end zone. Threw for 141 yards. Not good. Lions won. All right. And, Sam Laporta 9 for $140 a touchdown. That's good. Indianapolis 7-5. They won in overtime. And Derrick Henry went out with a concussion, 102 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nick Folk missed an extra point and a field goal. Colts blocked 2 punts to seize momentum and force overtime. When after the field goal, Gardner Minshew found Michael Pittman Jr. with a walk-off touchdown. 4th straight win. Will Levis threw for 224 touchdown, sacked 6 times, and Folk missed a go-ahead extra point. I remember that happened too. Tyreek Hill had his 8th game of his career. He's had 150-plus receiving yards and 2+ touchdowns. So he's tied with Don Maynard, the former Jet, with 8. Jerry Rice did it 17 times. 17 games with 150-plus yards receiving and 2+ touchdowns. Good God. Those are some stats, dude. There's only one Jerry Rice, right? Yeah. Crazy, right? Mark Duper on the list. Dolphins won big. Dolphins have to play the Ravens. Dolphins, they're talking about their paper tigers. Maybe they're not as good as you think they are, but I think we're going to see what happens. They do play the Titans on Monday Night Football, the Dolphins, and they play the Ravens on New Year's Day. No NFL on December 31st. There's no, so it's a day game. No, nothing will be flexed. Now the Colts got back Grover Stewart, missed 6 games. In the 6 games without him, they've given up an average of 153 yards per game, 4.7 yards an attempt. That is rushing. And the last 6 games with him, they only gave up 113.5, 3.7. And last 6 games without Grover, 177 to the Titans, 125 to the Bucks, 167 to Pats, 138 to the Panthers, 161 to the Saints, and 150 to Browns. That's a guy who's going to help them coming forward. Now the standings, we got the Eagles. You got the Eagles in the East. North is the Lions, Niners in the West, and the Falcons are 6-6. Dolphins, Ravens, Jags, and Chiefs. Yeah, we're going to see what happens. So the Chiefs lose to the Packers, giving the Dolphins AFC number 1 seed going to Monday night. They keep its spot if the Jaguars lose. If Jacksonville wins, Miami drops the number. So Jaguars, how about Brandon's going to go crazy? Could be number 1 seed. I mean, still more football to play. Now they're talking about guys coming back. Carson Beck for Georgia, Sanders, Quinn Ewers, because really they're saying the guys this year are Drake May, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Nix, and Penix. And it's the first time in the history of the college football playoff that any team jumped in the top 4 from outside the top 6 in the final weekend, and happened twice. Number 7, Texas, and number 8, Bama. So it was the first time an undefeated in the college football playoff, first time undefeated Power 5 champion was left out, Florida State. The number 1 team in the penultimate rankings was left out of the playoff, Georgia, and a team outside the top 6 in the penultimate rankings made the playoffs, Texas and Alabama. Yeah, so you got Fiesta, Liberty, Oregon, Georgia, Florida State in the orange, Peach Bowl, Ole Miss versus Penn State, and then Cotton is Missouri versus Ohio State. And Eli Drinkwitz, they're going to play Ohio State. He was in the ESPN Bowl show. He goes, "Hey guys, I got a quick phone call. Connor Stallion's beeping it in right there. I'm trying to get a few signals here, so I've got to go." That was pretty funny, dude. That was pretty funny. Yeah. And this is from, they asked Boo Corrigan, the guy who was head of the committee, the College Football Playoff Committee. It's a unique year to have the conference champions that we had, to have the undefeated teams going into it, 8 teams vying for an opportunity to be there. Injuries do happen, and regardless of what we do, someone is going to be disappointed in what we do. But the committee's job and the 13 people in the room is to come up with what they believe are the best 4 teams. Yeah. And Chris Vanini said, if you're wondering why Liberty just got in because they keep winning their games and Florida got left out after winning its games, I got nothing for you, which is true. And Jordan Travis, this is what he said. "I wish my leg broke early in the season so y'all could have seen this team as much more than the quarterback. He apologized for breaking." I mean, good God, dude, what? I mean, how can you read that enough? He's devastated, heartbroken, and so much disbelief. "I wish my leg broken earlier." Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. "I thought results matter. 13-0, and this roster matches up across any team in those top 4 rankings. I'm so sorry, go Noles." Yeah. AD he said, "The consequences of getting into a narrative of the moment are destructive, far-reaching, and permanent, not just for Florida State, but college football as a whole. The argument of whether a team is the most deserving or best is a false equivalence. It renders the season up to yesterday irrelevant and significantly damages the legitimacy of the college football playoff." Totally agree. Seminoles, 2023 Noles, are the epitome of a total team. I mean, look at them. They lost a quarterback, and they played in the championship game with their 3rd string. And they won. They beat, and they shut down. They dominated Louisville, 16-6. To eliminate them from a chance to compete for a national championship is an unwarranted injustice that shows complete disregard and disrespect for the performance and accomplishments. It is unforgivable. He said, "The fact that this team has continued to close out victories in dominant fashion facing our current quarterback situation should have enhanced our case to get a playoff berth." Earned on the field. Instead, the committee decided to evaluate themselves and make history, today by departing from what makes this sport great, by excluding an undefeated Power 5 conference champion for a first time since the advent of the BCS college football playoff era that began 25 years ago. This ridiculous decision is a departure from the competitive expectations that have stood the test of time in college football. I totally agree. Totally agree on that front. And Mike Norville says, he said, "Your truest identity shows up in times of greatest adversity." Doesn't want to comment more out of respect to the Orange Bowl, which is hosting this Zoom. He said, "I'm disgusted and infuriated with the committee's decision today to have what was earned on the field taken away because a small group of people decided they knew better than the results of the game. He said, what's the point of playing the games? Do you tell players it's okay if you quit if someone goes down? That's what you're saying. I mean, do you not play a senior on senior day for fear of injury? Where is the motivation to schedule a challenging non-conference game? We are not only an undefeated Power 5 conference champion, but we also played 2 Power 5 non-conference games away from home, and we won both of them. He said, I don't understand why we're supposed to think this is an acceptable way to evaluate a team. He said, I've heard it from our players who have displayed a tremendous amount of resilience and response this season. Yeah. I know I'd be pissed too. Yeah. But he's happy to go down to Florida, his home state, and, play Georgia, and we'll see what happens. Yeah. And Sam Viceni said, I think I'd have more respect for the college football committee if they would have just had Florida State ranked like 8th. If you think they're a fundamentally different team now, like you say, go all in and have Georgia, Ohio State, and Oregon ahead of them. That's what your reasoning says. Yeah, I don't disagree. So the 12th time Bulldogs and Seminoles are going to meet, and the second time during bowl season. They met at the 2003 Sugar Bowl. Mark Richt, former Florida State offensive coordinator Mark Richt, got the upper hand on mentor Bobby Bowden, 26-13 Georgia win. Colin Coward said, I've seen enough. Michigan, Washington, Texas, Bama. That's my 4. Gave Florida State a chance. Delivered a dud. What dud? What do you think? They have to score 95 points? That's why Colin Coward's a douchebag. I wrote douchebag right there. And Kellen DeBoer, 24-26 games, national best 20-game win streak. Became the first team in Pac-12 history, a 13-0 regular season. Yeah, 9-0 against top 25 teams, DeBoer is. Chris Peterson's 2016 playoff team never had a chance against Bama. They got blown out. This is going to be a good, tough out for them. And, you have Texas tight end Jatavion Sanders. You have Adonai Mitchell, Xavier Worthy. We're going to see if he can come play. But, Sanders, 6'4", 243. Last year he had a big year, 54 catches, 613 yards, and 5 touchdowns. This year, 31, 502. And 1 score in the regular season, but he had a very good big championship game. He entering the game, he had 5 passes in a game only twice this year, and both went over 100 yards, including 114 against Bama. But against Oklahoma State, season high 8 catches, a buck of 5, and a touchdown. And if Worthy's hurt, that's going to come back. We'll see what happens there. Jim Harbaugh says bet. They all said that, after he got, it means bringing everyone together. No, that's so great. Oh, that's so great. Yeah, Harbaugh, douchebag. I'm sorry. I am not a Harbaugh fan. My girlfriend went there. I can't stand Harbaugh. There's something, he's just slimy. SMU got screwed. Yeah, I'm sorry. I definitely double standard. They should have went Liberty. Yeah. Now, Jamie Chadwell from Coastal to Liberty, 44-6. 4 conference championships dating back to 2015 at FCS Charleston. He has 44-6 in 2020. Only Kirby Smart and Nick Saban have more wins in that span. They've had, they did have the weakest schedule, but I guess we're going to see what happens. But let's think about Michigan, Washington, Florida State, Liberty. Only undefeated teams this season. And they're going to go against Oregon. That's going to be a tough game. Ducks average 44 game, Liberty 41. But this is a big step up in competition. And so Damian Robluski is going to be the interim head coach for the James Madison. Kurt Signetti wanted to coach the game. They're not going to let him. So he's not coaching. So JMU is going to go against, who are they playing? So they were ineligible for the Sun Belt Championship. So they're playing... They're in the bowl game. Yeah, JMU leads the nation. Yeah, wait, who's James Madison playing? I know I wrote that down. James Madison bowl game. I know I wrote that down. James Madison bowl game 2000. They are playing Fort Worth Air Force in the Lockheed Martin Air Armed Forces Bowl, December 23rd. Which is Saturday, right? Friday. Wait, when's Christmas? I don't know. It's December 23rd. What day is that? Armed Forces Bowl. All right, let's see. When is that happening? James Madison, December 23rd, 3:30 p.m. I don't know when December 23rd is, but I think Christmas is a Monday, so it's a Saturday. Saturday, I guess. Yeah, jeez. That's crazy. That's crazy. Just crazy. I can't, yeah. I mean, this month is going to fly by. And their quarterback, we're going to see if, the James Madison quarterback who got conference player of the year, well, we're going to see what he does. So I was trying to see where, I was trying to see where, they want him to play in the game, but we're going to see if he's actually going to play in the game. So that is interesting, yeah. And the offense, yeah, that Jordan McLeod, the defensive lineman, Mikhail Kamara, they're hoping they're going to play. Those guys aren't going to play. No, they're not going to play. Not going to happen. USC and Louisville never have met in program history. Texas A&M, Elijah Robinson took the defensive coordinator job at Syracuse. So the new Texas A&M coach, Mike Elko, who had worked before with the Florida co-defensive coordinator, defensive line coach Sean Spencer. He's the guy. Rutgers is playing their 12th all-time appearance. Both they're 6-5 going in, 8th under Greg Schiano, 5-2. They'll be playing in the 3rd Pinstripe Bowl, tiring Syracuse for the most in the game's history. And they've played in. Isn't that crazy? I mean, it's their first. I remember Wake Forest couldn't get anybody to play them during the pandemic, so Rutgers filled in. So their first outright bowl bid since 2014. They're saying, and Boise State fired Andy Alvalos and his 35-year-old defensive coordinator Spencer Danielson took over, went 3-0, led them to the Mountain West Conference Championship, and they named him head coach. And they play the LA Bowl against. Who are they playing against? Yeah, Boise State is playing. Yeah, I forgot who they're playing in the LA Bowl. LA Bowl. Let's see who's playing in the LA Bowl. Oh, I think they're playing UNLV. They're playing UNLV. Let me see. LA. See, I was going to buy the paper, but I had to get the iced teas from Michigan, so I couldn't. LA Bowl. No, LA Bowl. Yes. LA Bowl is going to be Boise State, UCLA. All right, so that should be fun times. Yes, that should be fun times. Yes, that should be very exciting. I want to see. I get talking and everybody. Yeah, they're all busy. Everybody's busy. We did have a lot of participation today. Aaron's too busy pumping iron at the gym. I know how it gets, dude. I hear you. I feel you. I feel you. Yes, that was pretty funny. Yes. McCord's going to the Pac-12, Oregon-Washington, most watched Pac-12 championship in conference history. 9.2 peaked at 11 million. Nice way to go out. Talk about Kyle McCord. Mac, Ohio running back, C. Bangura, transfer portal, one of the best backs in the MAC per Max Olson. 2,274 total yards, 23 touchdowns the last 2 years. Now, Rob sent me this is from Nick Kelly. Nick Saban on portal opening Monday, because I told our players today in the meeting, some of you have issues about transition in terms of your future. You don't have to do it in a vacuum. We're here to help you. Come talk to us about it. I'm going to stay in the office tomorrow so that whether it's guys going out early for the draft or seniors, leadership group on the team, guys in transition, have an opportunity to visit about what they want to do in the future. We're hopeful that all our players will want to stay on our team and contribute to the preparation and success that we have and the opportunity we have playing the best team in the country. I mean, I don't know if he's just saying that for face, but I mean, I thought that, he said, so Rob was like, he's a good guy. He's a good politician too. I mean, he really pushed to get Alabama, and they got in. I mean, it worked, right? I mean, it worked. It worked well. Yeah. Did I get a bunch of texts today? No, that was yesterday. Everybody, I'll be there. Oh no, that was yesterday. Okay. No. Yeah, I thought somebody sent me something. They did not. And I did like Brocious. We were talking about the Yankees, about he never liked Kelnick, Jay. And I said, well, only guy I never liked Knobloch. I think Chad Curtis had some problems after his playing career. some crazy shit happened, but what are you going to do? NBA best November ever in attendance, over 18,000. They're saying there was a lip reader with Udoka and LeBron. Legend Z, they can't confirm it, but Udoka allegedly said, "Stop crying like bitches, man." And LeBron said, "We're all grown men. That bitch word ain't cool." Udoka said, "Soft ass boy, stop bitching, acting like you're gonna do something." Yeah, I guess he was complaining about a call. We're all grown men. That bitch ain't cool, James said, and Udoka then go to him asking him, "What are you gonna do about it?" He continued to name call James a bit, calling him a soft ass boy, stop bitching, acting like you're gonna do something. Yeah, then they got ejected. They were down 16 at the time. They ended up losing the game. They're 8-9. I mean, who knows? And they said they were talking about their Thanksgiving dinners, but it didn't look like they were just chummy. It looked like they were talking shit to each other. So who knows? And here are the top 10 high majors. So the best 3 teams to the Subnet 200 are Antigua 60. How you doing there? Good to see you. Hello. So the top 3 in the in best playing, West Virginia, Maryland, Stanford. The worst team is Louisville. And Georgetown's is the bottom of the list. Oregon, Notre Dame, California, DePaul, Vanderbilt, Louisville. Not good. Not good at all. And Stanford women lost to Gonzaga. First time they allowed 96 points in 2000, according to ESPN. Only 5 undefeated teams left in the top 10, 7 in the top 25. And Stanford's the 12th top 10 team to drop a game. Yeah. It's going to be hard. Rangers won. Blackhawks lost 4-1. But Connor Bedard, 9th straight road game point streak. He has 11 goals, 9 assists, 20 points in 23 games. They're 7-16, Wild improved to 8-10-4. And Anze Kopitar, franchise's all-time assist leader, 758th of his career to pass Marcel Dion. I remember him. The 4-1 win over the Kings. That's it. Rob was saying they're good. They're good. Played his entire 18-year career, 1,313 games. Dion did 757 assists in 921 games. So did a lot less. But it's still, hey, 18 seasons is good. Pretty good. Yeah. 2-time Stanley Cup champ. Kopitar caught former teammate Dustin Brown and passed him for the all-time games mark, and he scored his 400th goal. He's done everything there. Hey, he's on a 2-year, $14 million extension. He can take a run at Dion's team record of 1307. He is 1161. And Brock Bozer of Vancouver, 17 goals. Austin Matthews of Toronto, Sam Reinhart of Florida, and Kucherov, we'd have 16. Kucherov and Panarin have 15. And Yamamoto's coming to the U.S. within the next week. We'll see how that goes. How about this? Babe Ruth, 1914, a paperboy named Archibald Davis collected baseball cards of his favorite Orioles. Then an international minor league side distributed in daily papers. He was fond of one depicting a 19-year-old pitcher born on Emory Street named Ruth. He is one of 15 cards passed down through generations. It was loaned to the Babe Ruth Birthplace and Museum in Baltimore in 1998, displayed until 2021, then sold privately. It went for $7.2 million. The 3 most expensive cards ever sold: the $12.6 million 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle card, the $7.25 million Wagner card, and now the $7.2 million 1914 Baltimore News Babe Ruth rookie card. Isn't that crazy? It was passed down from a 16-year-old Archibald Davis to family members, and it sold 109 years later for $7.2 million. Wow. And it wasn't in the best shape. I mean, it was in a museum, but it wasn't in the best shape. And he was traded to the Red Sox. Ruth would pitch for the Providence Grays of the International League title that summer, and by 1915, he would go 18-8 as an ace of the big league Red Sox, one of 5 on Boston staff to win 15-plus games. Yeah, it's miraculous, this card, and it does. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I just thought it was wild. And how about this? This is from John Winefuss. Remember when Budweiser celebrated Lionel Messi's record-breaking 644 goals for Barcelona by sending personalized beers to the 160 goalkeepers he scored against? Isn't that crazy? All the goalies he scored against, they all got beers, and they'd be like, God damn, I don't want this beer. That's kind of like a slap in the face. Yeah, Rob, I can't wait either. Jump on. You can talk all you want. MLS is set. You have Columbus Crew against the LA Football Club, right? Congrats. Do I care? No. I saw it. I was like, I'm more U.S. Women National Team. What was cool about it, that Trinity, Serena came up to Trinity Rodman, and Trinity Rodman, can I have a jersey? She's like, oh, God, I dug in the dirty bag from the beginning of the half to find mine and gave it to her because she already given a jersey to another fan. But she was like, Serena Williams came over, like, I want your, can I have that? And tonight, 6 p.m. at Wake Med Park in Cary, North Carolina, first time ever, you'll have in championship history, both College Cup finalists boast undefeated records, Florida State and Stanford. So Stanford beat BYU, the number 1 seed, 2-0. And Florida State beat Clemson 2-0 also. So the first time that's happening. Katie Ledecky lost the 400-meter freestyle race in the U.S. pool. Canadian teenager Summer McIntosh won the U.S. Open title in the event on Thursday. First time she lost the event in the U.S. since placing third at the 2012 Olympics at 15. And they said McIntosh will be contender for the 2024 Olympic title in the 400 free alongside Ledecky and world record holder Ariana Titmus. And Nebraska has rolled through the first 2 rounds. So they're all the seeds have moved on from the women's volleyball. I saw that. I was like, oh, let me see. Did I miss anything else? Let me see if I missed anything. I don't think anything happened. Did anything happen in the world of ESPN? I think Rob would say, or someone would tell me, I don't think I missed anything of major importance. Frank Reich. Oh, today's his birthday. Frank Reich, happy, enjoy the money. Women's basketball game, Kobe Bryant inspired streetwear. Okay, that's Pinterest. No, still denies. Oh, yeah, they're talking about. I feel that's all. Yeah. Leonard signing, lawyer Allred to rep girls' family and Giddy Kill. That's not going away. McCord going to the Betts will everyday second baseman next season for the Dodgers. Pickett has surgery on high ankle sprain. Yes. All right, let me get to some trivia questions because I think let's get to some trivia questions. All right. Last show trivia question. Bo Nix, one of 3 players with 100-plus passing touchdowns and 30-plus rushing touchdowns in college football history. There's only been 3 quarterbacks to do that. Who are the other 2? Besides Bo Nix, 100-plus passing touchdowns, 30-plus rushing touchdowns. Aaron must be busy. Josh, do you have an answer? Rob, you have an answer? There's 3 quarterbacks who have thrown for 100-plus passing touchdowns, 30-plus rushing touchdowns. 2 others. I don't know if Rob really follows college football that much. J.T. Barrett and Dan Lefevre from Central Michigan. Today's trivia question. What did Tank Dell do, became the first rookie in NFL history to do? Tank Dell did something this season that no rookie had ever done in NFL history. What was it? That's all I got for today. I want to thank Aaron for showing up, Josh, Rob, and who else showed up? Sharon Matola, but she didn't really want to talk. Sharon is one of the people I spoke with at Olympia. So Michigan, send my love to Michigan. Dom, thinking of you. Milton, send my love to Milton, your family. Dom, thank you for Bevo Jr. That was hilarious. Bumbles, all you guys, have a great day. Yes, Josh, you have a great day too. Some love to Michigan. My mom, Mrs. S. Mrs. S, get well soon. Get on the mend. Get strong. We're going down to Florida Friday. Going to see Mrs. S. I'm going to see Paul, Jenny, Eliza, and Emma, and I always call him we call him Blackbeard. Yeah, see them, and I'll see Joshua, Bills fan Joshua, and I'm going to see Eric. That'll be good too. So football, good game Sunday night, man. I got to watch that game Sunday night, the Cowboy Eagle game. Got to watch that game. All right, everybody have a great day. Peace out. I'll talk to you soon. Adios.